YouTube removing their dislike count. What are your thoughts? What do you
I always thought it was really interesting that YouTube had a dislike count because it
in the
sort
first
of,
place?
yeah, I feel like it was the kind of thing that created almost a mob mentality when there was something that people didn't like. I think when it comes to, I mean, this was a reason why Facebook never introduced the dislike button. They always just had a like and then introduced other reactions because as soon as you introduce that dislike and it's a really clear, I don't like this, I'm not happy, I'm angry, whatever it is, it creates that mob mentality where people kind of jump on it and go, oh, people don't like this. I also don't like this. And then there can be a lot of hostility and negativity around that. And then I think it gets reflected in the comments as well. So I think it's a really positive move to remove that without actually removing the option to say that users dislike something. So I think the people who are genuinely angry about something can get it off their chest and say, yeah, I dislike it. But you can't actually see how many people dislike it. So I think it's really positive.
I don't know that they even the number of likes. I don't know that that matters. If all, um, I guess, you know, maybe they could represent it visually, like have a little bar, and the further down either way, which is still sort of showing dislike and like ratios, but I can see the benefit for or towards the algorithm and the algorithm sort of picking it up. Though I've heard that doesn't matter what sort of reaction, any reaction, whether a like or dislike, is picked up by the algorithm
Yeah.
which makes sense because
Yeah.
YouTube, like all these platforms, want more interaction. So anything that generates more interaction or discussion is going to be favored. I did watch a video from YouTuber MKBHD. He's huge. You've all probably, if you're on YouTube, you've heard of him, saying that he disliked. Well, he disliked the removal of the dislike button,
Mm-hmm.
and his claim though was around that it gives you an idea of whether that video is good or bad, or whether like the video is something that you should watch. And his argument was that if you're looking for say a review of something, that just by looking at the like to dislike ratio you can quickly see whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
But I've
Mm.
never consumed YouTube in that way. I've looked at the comments more than anything else. But even then, you sort of, I don't know that you go to YouTube to look at everyone else's thoughts around something. I feel like Reddit is potentially more of a platform for that, where YouTube's really around the content that you're viewing and your thoughts on the content itself, rather than the subject matter of that content.
Mm.
Um, he had a 10-minute spiel about this, so he's like he
Oh
clearly
God.
feels a very specific way about it.
Yeah. I can
I
understand
just
the perspective, but I also feel like if you're going to reviews and things, who are these random people to say it's a bad video? Why should that be dictating if you're watching something? If you start watching it and you're enjoying it, continue watching it. If you're not, go elsewhere. It shouldn't be a case of looking at the likes and dislikes to see if it's worth your time watching. That seems like an odd metric. In the other hand, though, it's how review pages work for restaurants and things. If it's got good reviews, that's how you base your decision most of the time. Mm.
Well, that's correct, but there's a lot more to lose with a bad restaurant than a
Yeah.
bad video. That's what I don't understand. Yeah, there are not. I can't think of many other things that I necessarily turn to look at someone else's thoughts before, like in general, and make it like I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily, if someone like Kanye has been releasing a lot of music recently, and I just haven't sort of listened to it. But if someone said, "Oh, it's a bad album," I don't necessarily think that I would say, "Okay, you think it's a bad
I won't
album? I won't
listen.
bother listening to it." Exactly.
Yeah, you sort of go, oh, I better go and listen then because they want to know more.
Yeah. How bad did
Yeah.
he stuff up, or whatever else it may be. So
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I think it's a fine move. I don't know that it's necessarily particularly good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
I also, I don't know, I think they're saying that it's for there are benefits around mental health. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, Instagram did the same sort of thing when they started hiding the like counts, and now you can choose if you see it or not. And I think it's in the same vein of it's just not good for mental health because you got to take care of your users. And if people are posting videos and are just getting bombarded with dislikes, that's not going to be good. It sort of helps with the if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. So it's like if you like it, give it a like, awesome. If you don't, move on. You don't have to emphasize that you don't like it.
yeah,
I think
that's
it's
what I do.
positive.
I
Yeah.
avoid unless the person in that video, the content is particularly horrible.
Hmm.
I won't react negatively to it. Like if it's someone genuinely expressing their opinion, and it's not like just horrible.
Yeah.
If you're not a bad person, you're not going to get a dislike. But
But
if
then
you've
you've
got good
got
content, you're going to get a like.
yeah, and you've got reporting features for the purpose of it. If it's
If
particularly
it's that bad, yeah,
horrible, you've got that
100%.
sort of service there. Mm.
Yeah. I haven't seen any numbers around whether mental health or there have been mental health improvements when Instagram removed the functionality.
I feel better
Um,
personally. Just
okay.
from sort of my perspective, when I scroll through Instagram, I think I used to look at the like count a lot and I didn't realize. I've removed them now, so now I'll just see if there's somebody I follow that's liked another account's post. I'll see that person and I'll see and others. And for me, I'm like, oh, cool. I just look at the photo, I look at the video, and I go, yeah, this is cool. Rather than comparing and sort of saying, oh, they got this many likes, or last time they had this many likes. What's happened? Do people not like this anymore? All those sort of questions that pop up. I think I've noticed myself just being less focused on the likes now.
Okay.
So it's been a
Well,
positive shift in my personal sphere.
yeah, I haven't noticed a difference, so I would say it's had a positive impact 100% of the time, according to our polling so far.
Perfect.
All right, exactly, absolutely perfect.